Hi, and welcome to another video from Pro Audio Development. My name is Rick Perry. Today we're in the little utility building, and some of these videos you've seen, I've done some woodworking in here, and so it's 30-40 degrees outside, something like that. And just want to show you, I went on ahead and I've run power in here. For all you electricians, hey, I'm sorry, but I ran out of this pipe, but this is buried in the ground, run all the way up to a service disconnect, 30 amp service. So I've got my little breaker panel in here, and then I've got some outlets. And I've got a heater there running, and that's on one leg of the T20. And there's another heater, and that's running on the other leg of the T20, so I can run two heaters in here and stay nice and warm. And it is cold out there. You gotta have a coat, but I'm nice and warm. So anyway, I wanted to show you today, I'm doing some cable repair. And on the workbench here, I want to show you that a lot of times if you're friends with people like with stage production crews or whatever, if they don't have a technician on hand that repairs their cables, for the money, it's cheaper for them just to buy another cable. This is like a 10 or 15 foot XLR cable that went bad, and I'm going to show you what happened on the end here. To them, it's cheap enough just to buy another one and toss this. Well, I've got a few friends that call me up now and then. They say, hey, I got a few cables if you want to come dig through them, and you can have a few of them. So I got this one here, and if you look real close, this has the damage on the end. Get it to focus right. And that's where the female end has been thrown out, and it just pow hits the ground. And you like sound effects, and it dents the end. Well, what happens is it loosens the plastic up, and eventually this connector will go bad. And you saw in one of my videos, you can actually take this crimp and you can tap it back over, and it will tighten this connector back down. But basically, you just don't need to let these female ends hit the ground. My solution is the Nutrient connector. I love these. These things are fairly cheap, probably $2.70 a piece, less than $3 a piece. I buy mine from Parts Express. They may be other places online to find them. I've just convenient for me to buy them there. I've already installed one on this end, and I'm going to show you that with a soldering iron and just a little bit of time, it's fairly easy just to change these out. When I change these out, if I know that we don't have a problem with solder connections, then if I'm in a hurry, I can just desolder it and solder it on to the next one. But you'll notice not only do we have a dent here, that on this cable, pin number 3 has actually come loose. This one I'll actually have to strip back and re-tin it, so I'll cut all 3 of them off the same level, re-tin it, and then solder it back together. So anyway, I want to show you how that's done. That way you yourself can take these cables, and for what, $6 or $8 roughly, you know, I'm including shipping, you can actually repair these cables yourself. Once you get these old style connectors, just trash them. You know, they're not worth really trying to save. It's cheap enough to put these in. You'll know when you take these out of the pack and you see, you know, these are very heavy duty bulletproof. This is what you really need. It's got this nice little O-ring seal. So I really like these connectors, my favorite connectors out there. So anyway, let's get this thing changed over and see what we can do. We're going to take our end here, and we're not worried about saving anything, so we're just going to cut it off. Be done with that. The strain relief, I want to get rid of this thing. I hate these. They never stay where they're supposed to be. So what we'll do is, here's our connector. One of the first things that I do, and I almost started without it, is you want to go on ahead and put this end on. Okay? Get that out of the way. Excuse me. So I'm going to make sure the camera's still, yeah, we're still pretty good here. So I'm going to take this and clean. Fill the cups. so those are ready. So now I'm going to come back here, give it a little bit more. I don't need a whole lot. Now remember, I've gotten some pretty harsh comments on my videos from some pro guys, and you got to remember that my videos are for the home guy or for the average guy that's doing sound. If you do this for a living, you know, 5-7 days a week, and you come on my channel and bash me about the things that I do, hey, I understand where you're coming from. There may be certain things that are kind of like, well, why'd you do it that way? You got to understand that this is the everyday way to do things for the average Joe. Actually, I want to strip that back a little more than that. There we go. Okay, check our camera angle, and yeah, we're looking good. I just want to check it too because I decided to start recording this at the last minute and I don't have a whole lot of battery life left, but I think we'll be okay. Now, it's just easier to work with for me, you know, whenever I have a lot to work with. And I can tin it and I can trim the excess off later. Okay. So now, oops, there we go. We can trim this off fairly short. Now, and I've got this labeled here 1, 2, and 3 on the little block because I don't know, I guess dyslexia kicks in sometimes and I don't remember which one's which. And don't get into the rhyme is 2 was blue, it's not. 2's positive, so you're going to go red on that one, providing red's the same on the other end. So my 2's over here. So I'm going to heat the cup. When it turns liquid, put it in, pull away, wait a few seconds until you see it solidify. And we'll do the same thing to the second one, which is actually pin 3 here. Give it a little second or two to solidify. And I'm going to come over and do the shield, which can be a little tough when it's pre-tinned. I don't have a lot of good heat transfer, so I need to clean my tip off and add just a little drop here, shake it off. That'll give me some heat transfer. There we go. There we go. So now, let's see what we got here. They're real good and short. You don't want your leads about this long, you know, that flop around, so I got them pretty short up in there. So with the nutrient connector, you got this piece here, and it slides over the cable. It's got 2 little grooves it lines up into, and we'll take this, slide it in there, and there you go. That's in real time. And the strain relief is inside here. It crimps around it. Really nice. I like the way that happens. So now this is a very good solid connection. So there you have salvaged the cable and you can reuse this again. It's got real good high quality solid, you know, nutrient connectors. Once you use these a few times, you'll see they're great. So you got the camera here. So anyhow, I hope that helps. My little block that I use for soldering works pretty good. You can use a cable tester to hold your cables in place. It's real good for when you're soldering. I like using this. This is basically a cable stripping tool, a punch down tool that you can get at most electronic supply stores. They work good for stripping the cable, and it doesn't cut all the way through, and then you kind of twist the cable and pull the end off. If you use a razor blade, sometimes if you don't do it just right, then you can actually cut into the wires inside. And the best way, if you use a razor blade, is to bend the wire this way and barely rock it over the top, and you'll see that it'll cut a line, and with a little twist you can break it right loose. And then there's my soldering station. I love this. I don't like the wet sponge. This works best for me. I can shake off the excess, and it's just a steel wool pad in there to clean the tip off. One last thing in closing, before you turn your soldering iron off, I like to dip it in the, well, let's sit it down, I'll show you. I'll take this and I'll dip it in real good, get it good and clean, and then I'll put a layer of solder on it on both sides like that, because I use a screwdriver style tip on my soldering, and then I'll carefully put it in the holder so it doesn't, the ball of solder won't drop off, and then turn it off and let it cool down. And the solder itself that's on the tip will keep the tip from oxidizing. Next time that you turn it on, when it heats up, you clean the tip off, and what's underneath is nice and shiny. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'm going to stay out here. I've got an audio snake that I need to repair, and I've got my heaters kicking, and I still haven't cleaned the shop up. It's fairly clean. It's better than it has been, but it's a slow process. But now that I got heat out here, I got my music, I got some speakers up here, then I can stay out here and have a good time and until the wife comes and gets me. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, then put them in the description down below. Or the comment section down below. And in the description below will be a link to my website. Come to my website, check out some of my blogs, and I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up on the video. Excuse me, I had a little moment there. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.